Now what we're looking at here is my Windows Mouse Properties dialog box. Now when you're using a mouse with AutoCAD, which is the preferred method of input, what you can do is you can actually utilize your mouse wheel to zoom and pan. Now what I've got it set to here at the moment, you'll notice, is I'm looking at my Buttons tab here. And I'm using a standard pointing device, which is my mouse, and I'm a right-handed draftsperson, so I use right-handed here, where the left button is the primary click, where you select and you drag. And everything else I'm just going to leave as is. I'm now going to look at the wheel option. Now as long as your wheel is set to scroll, which mine is, you can see scrolling, okay, you can actually utilize your mouse wheel in AutoCAD. Now there is actually a variable in AutoCAD that you can change to set your settings of what your mouse wheel and your mouse actually does. I'm not going to go into that much detail. That's almost a programming customized user interface setting. But you'll see there that I've got buttons and they're set to be right-handed, and I've got a wheel there that is set to scroll 5 lines at a time if, for example, I'm scrolling through a web page. I'm going to OK that now, and I then come into my AutoCAD drawing. And as you can see, as I move my mouse around, it allows me to move the crosshair around on the screen. Using my left-hand mouse button, if I click on that dimension there, it selects it. That is my primary selection method, my left-hand mouse button. What I can also do there is I can drag if I need to. So if I was going to use my sticky panel here, I'd left-click there, hold and drag, and my sticky panel would then move into the drawing area. I then left-click there and return that panel back to the ribbon. So you can see how your mouse works. Now, what about this wheel? Well, if you've got the appropriate software installed, which I have, what I can do is if I roll up on my wheel and position the crosshair over an object, let's say that square there, if I roll upwards now, the crosshair acts as the center of the zoom in. So I'm zooming in by a certain percentage each time as I roll upwards, each notch on my mouse. Can you see that? It's normally by default 10%. So as I zoom out, it gets 10% smaller each time. As I zoom in, it gets 10% bigger each time. Now that's great because this drawing's fairly simplistic, but if I'm in a complicated drawing and I want to zoom in like that, I might zoom in like that and I might not be able to see where I am. So what I do there is I hold down the wheel on the mouse. Most wheel mice now, the wheel acts as a third button on the mouse. I hold down the wheel, little hand symbol appears, and as I drag now, look, I can pan around the drawing. So I release the wheel, bring the crosshair up a bit more, hold it down again, and drag, and I can pan around my drawing. It's brilliant for zooming in and getting into the detail of your drawing. You can actually see what's going on then. So I can roll backwards on the wheel to zoom out, move forwards on the wheel to zoom in, come out again, hold down the wheel, and I can pan. Now these actually replicate functions on the status bar. If I go down here, look, I've got pan here. I click on pan. There's my hand symbol. Hold down the left-hand mouse button now and drag, and I can pan. Notice I can right-click and I can come out of pan and go into zoom. Now this real-time zoom is slightly different. I have a magnifying glass now. I hold down the left-hand mouse button, move upwards, it zooms me in, move downwards with the mouse, it zooms me out. I can right-click and exit, and again now I can roll upwards on the wheel and downwards on the wheel to zoom in and out. So your wheel is a very, very important function of your mouse. It allows you to navigate your drawing very quickly, very easily, and it's actually quicker than going down and clicking a button on the status bar or perhaps clicking on an icon on the ribbon, for example.